Hey guys, it's StarrySky and welcome to this Rage DPS melee loadout video. Now this video is going to be showing you the PowerPoints behind the build, the loadout, the rotation, and explaining a few things about it. Okay, so further ado, let's go straight to the anger tree. And I have PowerPoints in Rage Blast, Relentless Anger, Violence, Viscerate and Chain, Berserker, Outrage, Lacerate, Ghoul and Eruption. And in the punishment tree we have PowerPoints in Ragebringer, Remorseless Recovery, Infuriate, Dreadful Blast, Bloodlust. In the iconics we have Weapons Expert, Tactical Genius. Okay, so now to loadout. Ghoul and Eruption, Violence, Bloodlust, Eviscerate and Chain, Outrage, Berserker. Now with this build, you're able to swap between two supercharges, Infuriate and Berserker. Now the reason why we do this for is because when it comes to bosses with basically anything more than one, this is what supercharge you want to use, because any damage I deal to that target, it deals that damage exactly to anything around me. So if there's 2 or 3 bosses up, all I have to do is target one, do a ton of load of damage with the rotation, and it will do it to the other targets near me without me even having to target them. So literally you can melt all of them at the same time. But when it comes to bosses like a single target boss that's just by itself, you want to put an Infuriate, because this will give you and your group members a 25% critical attack chance and 50% critical attack damage. That is a lot. So plus also it provides you some control resistance, so that just means you've got this supercharge even more. Okay, so the rotation is going to be Ghoul and Eruption, clipped with a consumable. So yes, I do recommend using consumables. The best consumable to use would be Karma Hex. It just has the shortest animation out of all the consumables in the game. It's almost instantaneous. So Ghoul and Eruption clipped with consumable, Violence clipped with Bloodlust, and then we will go into our depends on the situation. If there's a big group of ads and we want to do AoE damage, we would just literally rotate Outrage. We would just go Outrage, hold melee, Outrage, hold melee, clipping the hold melee with just another Outrage. Literally while these two are ticking away and doing might based AoE damage over time damage, this would be doing heavy instant precision damage because of the hold melee. It's just an absolute killer for it. And as you can see, another thing, when the health is below 50%, enemies will take extra damage. So basically, if I think it does look forward, swing massive flare at the enemies, damage is done. When rage cause damage by rage crash is ignored, enemies health below 50. Okay, so that doesn't apply to us. And if you have a few targets, or one target which is below 35% HP, this will be your finisher. So basically activate it, hold melee, and then do some kind of like blood blades. But the blood blades are melee, but the good thing about though, it's the only AoE finisher. So literally this can hit multiple targets below 35% HP and crit for like 6k at a time, maybe even more. But the finisher, which is the precision based hold melee, is only close range. It's not range at all. So you can even put it as part of a rotation. You can apply the damage over time, do Outrage, and then basically when you're things that like hits 50% on a single target, you can do Eviscerate and Change, hold melee, clipped with Outrage, hold melee, and then do between it. But anyway, let's get to the rotation on the sparring target. Okay. So, nice and simple. Ghoul and Eruption, clipped to consumable, Violence, Bloodlust, and then Outrage, clipped of itself. And as you can see, the sparring target just melts. We've got 2 damage AoEs going over time, and then we've got buff itself of Bloodlust, and Outrage is just doing a massive insane of AoE damage. So if I had Berserker up at the same time, it would have done all that damage to everything else around me. So literally, if there was 2 or 3 targets, they just would have melted. So, but when it comes to like single targets, we want to apply our 2 AoEs, and then we'll do this: outrage, clip with chain, hold melee, clipped with outrage. This way, we are getting our finisher in, plus also doing a lot of more position-based damage with outrage. It's just a nice way, because if you just spam eviscerate change, it's a little bit slower. And that's all there is to it. It's a very simple loadout, very simple rotation, but it does a lot of damage, and it covers single target, AoE, and it really is good for your group because you run a Bloodlust, which buff your precision, critical strike chance, and you also can swap between supercharges depending on situations. Try this out, let me know what you think about it. Oh, and also you want to be using a melee weapon as well for this, because you want to get the 15% critical attack damage buff from it and 20% control resistance. Also, a good weapons to use for this loadout are dual wield, 2-handed staff, because if you're out of power, those 3 weapons are pretty much the best ones for I would say instant damage and AoE damage, because it's so easy to use, but they still hit extremely hard. And since you'll be full precision, you're going to be hitting thousands with those weapons even if you're out of power, so you'll still be able to put a lot of damage in when the controller, if it can't power you. So you don't have to rely on a controller and think, oh great, I'm out of power, I can't do damage. Oh yes you can, because your weapon will do thousands because you're full precision. So anyway guys, go try this out, let me know what you think. It's a really good loadout, it's done me really well. I'll be uploading some videos so you can see it. And as usual, thank you for watching this, so until next time, I'll see you then.
Beware my power. Green Lantern's light!